Hey guys, Steve here from theturtlefollower.com with your strategy session for Thursday, October 30th. So, market today was a little back and forth for the morning, and then it seems like in the afternoon is really when we got started moving higher. You can see here on the S&P futures that we're pretty much within striking distance of that 2,000. All right, another 12 points higher on the futures, and we've rallied all the way back from 1812. So substantial rally nonetheless. Now it's a matter of, I do believe we're going to see some type of resistance. I have to believe we're going to see some type of resistance in this area. But ultimately, if you look here on the linear regression channel, this looks like maybe just a little fake out to the downside, and maybe it sets us up for another good rally going forward. But for right now, I'm expecting to see some resistance in the next couple days. Maybe pullback to put in a lower or a higher low, and then an eventual breakout over 2,000. I'd be very surprised if we rallied straight through this 2005 level off of this low. It's one thing to rally back as strong as we have, but in order to break some substantial resistance, I think we're going to have to spend some time in this area and build up some steam before we push through. The Nasdaq is right at the highs. All right, you can see it's tried to break through the last couple days. You can see it's been moving sideways for about the last 3 days. Again, this is something I'm looking for in the S&P. Again, we could potentially come back down, maybe to 39.76, and then move higher. But for right now, I think sideways is perfectly fine at these levels. The Dow, another similar situation. Again, this was one that was kind of lagging behind, and now it's right there in the mix. 17,200, I would say, is probably the level it needs to be broken. But again, looking for a couple days of some sideways action. A nice strong day today. You could see again the 15,770 all the way up to almost 17,200. So a good 150 points there. I'm sorry, 1,500 points. I lost a zero in my mental math. And the last one, the Russell, pushing right into that resistance of this downtrend line. I do believe that we either go sideways or at least roll over here. Again, very similar to the S&P for as quickly as we've rallied to it. I would be very surprised if we don't actually put in some sideways consolidation and or a little bit of a retrace before breaking out higher. Ultimately, I do think we break higher. I think we break higher than this 1170 on the Russell, but I think it needs to set up first before it breaks out. So markets look very strong. It's kind of amazing how a difference of a couple weeks that we had this type of V-shaped reversal, especially when I really wasn't predicting it, and not only me, but a lot of other people, saw some stuff that wasn't necessarily good for this V-shaped reversal to take place, but nonetheless it happened, and it looks like now that we're actually starting to break out, and the market's starting to push highs, and stocks are kind of front-running that, and a lot of stocks have broken out. As you can see, our portfolio has increased in size, almost doubled in the last week and a half, and there's another position we're going to be adding tonight that'll make us 14 and pretty much be about where we want to be. We'll be using a little bit of margin, and we'll be positioned very nicely. So it's again very surprising, and this is kind of why you really can't have a prediction, because who would have predicted that we would have rallied all the way back? If you said, oh, you know what, trend changed, I'm going to start being short, I'm going to build a short position, short portfolio, that probably would have been a reasonable assumption. But the fact that we rally back, this is kind of why you just take the price action for what it is. Don't really look into too much about what's moving what, or it's a lot of work, and at the end of the day, it's very hard to be consistent with that. Price is one thing. Price is really all that matters, and the fact is price has substantially reversed, and we're not out of the woods yet, to say the least. But you could see this reversal is quite strong. So whether this is setting up for the professionals to short into, or whether this is actually the real thing, that remains to be seen. But for right now, we're positioned long, and we've been enjoying this rally back for the last week and a half. So as far as our positions go, we're going to take a quick look at these. Apple, again, 95 is the stop. It's really just consolidating at its highs. Let it work. Again, I said it last night. I'm going to make these short and sweet. Not much to do on any of these. Just let them do their job. Let them sit there and churn around, and let them do their thing and trend higher. That's what they're doing. ACE, stop is 101. Again, sitting right at the highs. Let it work. CB, consolidating at its highs. Stop is 90.50. Let it work. All right, I don't want you guys to think that this is. I kind of blow this off as it's a joke, but that's really the fact of it. You guys have to just learn to know when you need to do something and when you need to not do anything. And that was one thing that was very difficult for me to learn. I felt like I always had to do something. I felt like I always had to be moving stops or adding to positions or taking away from positions. It didn't get me anywhere. It made my broker a lot of commissions. I've substantially reduced my commissions in the last 5-6 years, and now we're at the point where the stock let it work. All right, Costco, let it work. All right, you can see here, nice little consolidation, breakout higher. Stop is down here. We moved it up yesterday to 122. We were at 119. Again, just let the thing work. Home Depot up 1.14%. New highs. Congratulations. All right. 86.50 is our stop. Kroger. New highs. Breaking out of that small consolidation. $50 is our stop. And as we said the last couple times, we'll probably be moving up to right around 51 within the next, I would say, week to 2 weeks. L Brands, guess what? New highs. Let her work. All right, 63.30 is our stop. Next stop level looks like it's identifying itself at 65.29, but for right now, we're gonna let it work. 11.19 is earnings on L Brands. Lockheed Martin up 1.53. Okay, this is why we buy strength. Just continues to outperform. All right, up 1.53%. Stop is 170. Great looking breakout. All right, this was one I've been long for a while. Personally, very happy to see it finally taking off. I think my purchase price was somewhere back in here, right around the 160 area, and then I sat through this big long consolidation, finally got some breakout and some trending higher. So as I said, one of the reasons that I like to buy high yielding dividend stocks, 3.17% at these levels is 3.17. When it's back in here, it's probably closer to 4. One of the reasons is I know that I'm going to go through periods of underperformance where stocks are consolidating. All right, it's just the nature of buying strength and sitting on a position for a while. You're going to go through these periods. I got paid 4% in 1-2 times. All right, that perfectly makes up for a lack of outperformance. As long as we can continue to move higher, we have the best of both worlds now. We have a stock that is in a growth phase, all right, where the stock price is actually moving higher, and we're gaining some passive income with a high yielding stock. Great setup for long-term success. Nike, new highs. Congratulations. So I would say out of the first 6 or 7 positions that we went over, I would say about 5 or 6 of them, depending on what the number was, are at new highs. That's exactly what you want to see. When you're at new highs, there's nothing to do. You just let the stock work. 83.75 is our stop. Pepsi. New all-time closing highs, we could say, but not all-time highs. You can see we're still trying to navigate that 96 area. $90 is our stop, but you can see a nice little breakout from this small consolidation. Great setup there for some continued movement higher. Ross Stores, again, consolidating within that little box pattern. moving closer to this trend line, to the 50-day moving average. Stop is still down here, 72.21. Probably going to be moving the stop to 74.18 on some continued move sideways and then a breakout. So 74.18 would be the next stop. But for right now, 72.21 is perfectly fine for me. Zyma Property Group pulled back a little bit yesterday. Today was up a little bit, so you can see very similar. Looks like it may be consolidating in this very tight pattern. Let's see what happens in the next few days. Weekly chart looks great. All right, nice breakout from a weekly consolidation, moving higher. Nothing not to like here. All right, 2.94% yield, even better. Travelers, look at the move this has had. Nice little consolidation here. All right, so we're looking for some move sideways or potentially a pullback. $91 is your stop right now. So again, I would almost actually venture to say that every one of these is at or within 1%, 1 to 2% of its highs. Let's take a quick thumb through these. Yep. Highs. Costco, new highs. Yeah. So, again, that's a great problem to have, right? Just let these stocks work. Let them do their job. Let them get to the point where they're outperforming the market, which a lot of these are. We're at new highs on most of these. And, something that we'll go over, a little bit down the line, maybe I'll do an e-course on it or something, is bring options into your trading. All right, you could have your core positions. Something that I do very often is I'll have my core position stock that I'll let work, but something like a Costco that sets up a smaller consolidation where I can have a nice tight stop. Maybe I'll buy some options on it for a little outperformance and try and trade the options using a different stop level. But that's something for another time when we get a little bit more comfortable with our system. Right now it's just one step at a time, baby steps, and we haven't even touched on options. So I think I may do an options introduction, and then we can even look at incorporating them into our portfolio here. So that was our positions. Now we'll take a quick look at our watch list stocks. ABC, unfortunately, was one that broke out. I wish we were able to enter it, but we had earnings that we're waiting on. And sure enough, today up 6.4%. So if you guys took ABC on my recommendation or against my recommendation by not using the earnings rules, congratulations. That's a great trade, great looking setup, and you're ahead of the game already. So good job there. Allstate up 1.48. Okay, this was one that broke out the other day. Again, we couldn't take it because of earnings. So that one's moving up well. Green Mountain Coffee Roasters. Looks like it's breaking out. This one I'm a little kind of, I really want to take it, but I don't. It's kind of one of those that it looks great, but for some reason there's just something in my head that's telling me not to take this one. And sometimes you got to go with those gut feelings. We have a pretty full-size position, portfolio, and this one just doesn't set up the way I exactly want it to. So we're going to pass on that one. One that we're not going to pass on is CTAS. All right. Cintas Corp. I think these are the people that make like the uniforms. So this one looks really good. This was something we identified in the weekend update. So make sure you get over there and check that out. But essentially we were looking for a break over 71.65, and we were going to use this 67 area as our stop. That's exactly what we're going to do. We planned our trade. Now we're going to trade that plan. So we're going to enter tomorrow at the open and put a stop down here right at $67. We'll just change this real quick. Let's see. 67. All right, so there we go. So there's your trade. Nice $4 risk there, $5 risk. So good looking setup, and that'll be an industrial play with a 2.34% yield. CenturyLink looks like it's getting close to breaking out, but it has earnings coming up. RSG, this was one that we had back on the list. Unfortunately, we got stopped out of. This is similar to Apple. We got stopped out on that little breakdown. I would love to take this one as well, but this one actually had earnings tonight after the bell. I'm not sure exactly what. Let's see. Earnings 52, actual 52. Let's see what the RSG trading 39.40. So not really moving around too much. But again, nice looking setup. Maybe if it continues tomorrow and holds up above this 39.50, then we'll be able to enter for Friday or for Monday. VF Corp, you can see it's having. Oops, sorry guys. VF Corp, you could see it's having some trouble right at that 67 level. All right, and Procter and Gamble, you could see that that's moving higher. You could see I'm actually looking to trade an option on that, just based on the fact that it's moved past its earnings date, and I'm going to be using a much tighter stop. Probably something right around 85. So see if we can get some outperformance on that option. But again, that's it for tonight. So market-wise, very strong looking stocks. Markets, I'm sorry, pretty much within reach of their all-time highs. Portfolio-wise, can't complain about anything really. Not really anything that's underperforming right now. And we'll be entering a new position, CTAS, for tomorrow. So that's it for tonight, guys. Catch you on Saturday for the weekend update. Have a happy Halloween, and we'll see you on Saturday. Take care.